mamacita, te necesito. Soy el brillo, that's all the words I know. I shoot tequila from Costa Rica. I gotta tell ya, best friends, you are my fucking best friends. Seriously, it's like the best night ever. This song, I'm really feeling this song. This song, fucking best song ever.
What's up? It's Friday. It's the best song ever. Best friends. You are my fucking best friends. What is it? February 15th, day after Valentine's Day. Big day in Jake's life because he is now coming to you live from Florida. Florida. You wearing apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. You ever wore those? Could be a good look for you.
Any jeans I wear are apple bottom jeans. I don't know if I've had boots with fur before. I'm trying to think. Had to have some weird looking boots with a little bit of pizzazz on
it sounds like that's something one of your aunts or your mom would buy you for Christmas one day, and you'd be like, okay, I guess these are my boots now.
Oh, the shoe game was all my mother. Usually Marshall's discount rack. Couple celeb sightings on the holiday that would be outside of the Marshall's discount rack. Yeah, I was talking to someone online about that. I used to have some bizarre shows. Oh, you posted some old pics of us, and I had a pair of black and white Nikes on that looked like a famous pair of Nikes, but they were discount shelf.
I want to hear about your trip and all that. But speaking of shoes, while we're on the subject, I tweeted out I needed shoes, but I'm not cool enough to rock like cool shoes. But I want sneakers,
right? Because
I'm committing to my new Adam Sandler look of just basketball shorts and t-shirts for the rest of my life now.
Right.
So I went to Kohl's and I got myself a pair of sneakers, and there was the ones that I liked the most were $100, and I was like, I can't spend $100 on something I don't even value myself. Like I don't put value into my shoes, so I can't spend a lot of money. So I got these cheaper Nikes. I come home, I'm like, Katie, I got shoes. Do I look like an idiot in them? And her exact response was, wow, those are like cool shoes. Those don't fit your personality at all. I was like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
She's like, no, they're cool. You just usually don't try and dress cool. I was like, what? Can I wear these or no?
Answer the question, lady.
These are them. The bottom, I don't like the bottom. I just got them because they're the cheapest.
Okay, yeah, I see what she's saying. That's a little cooler than you try to go for.
The bottom, I'm not a fan of this bottom.
Yeah, it's kind of got the marbleized bottom. I think the air on the back.
I didn't even see that until she pointed it out.
Yeah. I think that slightly leaves your area of coolness. But dude, I think that's what I tried to tell you when you asked. You texted me, and I think we were both a little high, but you were asking me about what shoes or sneakers you could wear. And I was trying to get you away from basketball shoes because I think both of those days are behind us. But I'm not a big I'm not a shoes guy. Like, what's a brand of shoes? Like, okay.
I don't know a brand of shoes. I don't know anything.
Well, there we go.
Someone said to wear Converse, and I was like, I'm not cool enough to wear Converse or skinny enough. You can't.
Right, like I've never worn those.
Anytime I need to see a chubby dude wearing Converse, I'm like, that's.
Yeah, that doesn't add up.
Were you in a punk rock band from 2004?
So yeah, I mean, I keep my sneakers pretty black and white. They can blend in a little easier that way. And then you try not to get the white shoes because then Air Force Ones, not going there, but yeah. How do we get here? Oh, the old Marshall's rack.
Yeah, we were talking about
dude.
Boots with the fur.
I remember, and I'm sure some of my other buddies can attest to this. Oh, why would they remember this? Maybe they would. But I mean, I used to get some, I guess you'd call them snazzy shoes, but they were like, one time I had a pair of green reflective basketball sneakers that were zip up. Like, I don't know if they were like around a Tracy McGrady time period or something, or if they were Facey McGrady's or something. But I mean, just wild shoes. So I mean, I kind of had to lean into it. Not that I was against it, but I mean, these shoes weren't. You couldn't casually wear these shoes.
I picked up these pair of Nikes at the store, and I was like, "Oh shit, sneakers are light." Because I've been wearing boots all winter.
Oh yeah,
like cement shoes on my feet.
yeah. I have a big boot transition that I'm like, I'm tired just from wearing boots. And then, dude, I kind of should have said this, but running shoes, that's kind of where it's at. Because I think I did say this to you. Running shoes are just like crazy light because normal people like to run in them.
That's what these are like Nike running shoes. That's what they were on the rack as.
Okay.
How was your flight and all that?
We did good. It was a nice little travel day. Had to be out the door for like 3:50 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. We had a connector. I think I got this flight using points, so we connected through Atlanta. I don't know. I have no problem connecting. We got a bite to eat. We chilled out for a minute. It's fine. Went to the Texas Roadhouse in the Atlanta airport. Shout out. Split a California club. That's my girlfriend's go-to. If there's a chicken avocado type sandwich on a menu, she's just gonna get that.
Nice.
And then connected.
Did you do like Valentine's Day thing amongst all this at all?
Oh yeah. So I mean, when she got home yesterday, I'd gotten a stuffed animal of a golden doodle. Obvious layup. Got to make the layups.
Noodle's gonna fuck that thing.
Oh yeah, big time. And a box of chocolates. But I mean, nothing fancy. It was kind of like day before. Tomorrow's gonna be a travel day. Can't do anything. Amongst those terms, I can't do anything extravagant. Like I couldn't do flowers for traveling. Like that would have been awful.
Yeah.
So did that, and then we got here. We got to Tampa, got the rental car, drove to Clearwater. First time in Clearwater, a little beach community. Couple hole in the wall places that seem kind of fun, kind of our speed. Did you
say this water? You should go to Tahoe. That's clear water.
That's clear. You guys, Tahoe. Like I saw there's this place that you'd like. It was Baltimore themed, but it was clearly.
Why would I like that?
Well, Jess and I were talking about it. It was clearly some old man either came down with his wife and retired.
Oh, and he was like, I like the Orioles.
And yeah, he's like, what am I going to do in retirement? I'll make a Baltimore bar in Clearwater, Florida. But it was nice indoor-outdoor vibes, pretty low-key. And, or like he got divorced, snapped, and moved to Clearwater and did this. That was the other theory. But either way, and then yeah, we went to a dinner. It was solid. It was prefix. And yeah, it was nice. We did a little walking, which was good because we had like the big meal, but we walked around the town a little bit. And yeah, it was kind of a nice night. We were back in our like Airbnb place pretty early enough. Yeah.
Nice. Sounds nice.
What was your day yesterday?
Pretty shitty, and that's kind of a pun actually. Zimmer's sick. He's going to the vet today. Everyone else, like my mom and Katie, are scared that the vet's going to say we have to put him down. Right. I don't think he's that old. He's 2 years older than his life expectancy, so he is old. But he's still like will run around with me. I just think he's sick. Like I don't think he's dying. I think he's sick. His stomach, he's just leaking diarrhea.
Right.
And he doesn't see it coming, so I can't get mad at him about it. So my last 2.5 days, my last 2 days have been 12 hours of work to get all this stuff done, the PPPs done. And my breaks consist of me on my hands and knees wiping up diarrhea.
Yeah.
And I came down this morning, and I knew there was going to be diarrhea because he's just leaking shit
Yeah. You
everywhere
just
he goes.
you come in, you have to come in with that assumption.
So I'm like creeping down the steps, like, oh fuck, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And then it's not in one spot. He had circled the dining room table,
Hmm.
and yeah, like it takes a lot to break me because I can, at this stage of my life, I'm pretty in control of like, okay, just calm down, just clean it up, and then it's going to be done with. Once you're done,
Right.
when I came down this morning, it was I just started pulling out my hair. I was audibly like just fucking almost crying, just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So Katie came down to help me because it wasn't localized. So I hope the vet helps him out.
Me too, man.
I like, otherwise I'm like, all right, Katie, I'm going to Florida. I'm out of here. I can't be wiping up shit.
Yeah, like you run into one of those. You have a day where something like that happens. Like I think I told a story a while back, and this is a fun story. This will lead us on the up. Was Jess, my girlfriend, took our dog for a walk, Noodle, to the park, and I was like, "That's pretty delightful. Like you guys have a good time." So they come back. And Jess goes, "Hey, you know." Just an FYI, nothing's gonna happen. But when we were in the dog, when we went to the park, Noodle ate like a lot of goose poop, like more than you'd expect. I'm like, okay, like, he's at this point he's strong on his leash, and I've seen the park when there's a decent amount of goose poop there. I've lived the image of him jerking out my shoulder and trying to lick up a piece of goose poop. But I'm laughing. I'm like, okay, like, if you're making a stand-up routine, the next question is obvious. Like, how much goose poop did this dog eat?
Mm-hmm.
So I just laughed at her statement. I'm like, whatever. We're hanging out in the kitchen. 10 minutes later, he just throws up a mound of goose poop.
Disgusting.
So it's so gross, and it's one of those moments like, you can't even think about it because it's double gross. It's goose poop,
Regurgitated, swallowed and regurgitated goose poop.
Yeah, and it's dog throw up. Like that's a huge double whammy of things you don't want to deal with.
I'm gonna put that on a T-shirt. It's gonna say swallowed and regurgitated goose poop. Listen to Jomboy and Jake Radio.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
It's our new description on the
But
bottom.
yeah, like it's one of those things. Like didn't even think like there was actually we had a couple pieces of cardboard from I don't know if we got a new appliance or something, but just took the pieces of cardboard, like scooped it into the trash, then did a full wipe down. Threw that in the trash, took the trash out, and it's like done. It's gone. You're like, that was gross, but we dealt with it. In hindsight, it's so ridiculous. You move on. Like if he had thrown up more goose poop later, it's a totally different reaction.
My yeah, because then you get broken. My mind can't get over just the phrase regurgitated goose poop. I think it's got a real good flow to it. I think it's almost like the Nick Swartzen boner soup joke. Like I want to name a band Regurgitated Goose Poop.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "What's that band's name? What does that mean? Who regurgitated it?
Regurgitated
the goose?
Poop. I think you like the double O's. I think you like the T's. I think
it
you like
floats.
the G's.
There's a lot of elements to it. There's double G's, regurgitated goose. Yeah.
Shoddy band name.
Yeah. I'll put it on a T-shirt. Jordan Gagg got a best friends T-shirt for Valentine's Day from his I don't know, wife or girlfriend. But
pretty nice.
Pretty nice. I threw up. I'm gonna throw up a bunch of Jomboy and Jake Radio shirts. I don't expect them to be huge sellers, but if anyone wants a niche shirt for the show,
yeah,
want to help us out a little, and you get a fun shirt. Like right now we have Jake sucks up, but I want to do Jake is stupid but he's smart. I'm trying to think of other sayings from the show, so send them in. I don't care if no one buys them. I just want to fill the store up with dumb sayings to make it look like, hey, look, we sell shirts.
Done.
How many do you sell? Well, 3.
1. We've sold 1.
No, we've sold 3.
Sold 3.
Best friends, you're my fucking best friends. We sold 3 of those.
Good shirt.
One of them's me, and 2 of them are other people.
Okay, so 2.
No, I purchased it.
It's fine. Can you say you sold it? I don't know.
Jordan Gagg said, I'm still waiting on Jake socks.
Yeah. It's going to be a
I
whole
did.
line.
I checked. Our distributor doesn't offer socks as of now, which is bullshit.
Kevin Hart has a big, he's got a big Tommy John underwear line. That's going to be me, but socks.
Yeah. If you go to talkingyanks.com in the search function, you type in sucks, you'll see the Jake Sucks design. I sent it to Luke, and he was like, that's clean. I was like, well, just a shirt that says Jake Sucks, but it does look clean.
It's clean.
DeGrom at Mets camp says if he doesn't get a new deal before the season starts, he's going to limit his innings pitched in this year to protect himself. Oh, man. The Devils lost to the Kings 5-2. The Yukon Huskies lost to the Houston Cougars. Bunch of dogs losing to a bunch of cats. Embarrassing and embarrassing. Yukon is now 9th in the American Conference. CCSU's Tyler Cole is once again, Jake, the NEC Player of the Week. Tyler is now the only player in the NEC history, long and coveted NEC history. Tyler Cole of the Blue Devils is the only player to win Player of the Week 6 times in a single season. Eat shit, everyone else. Also, the Blue Devils lost to Wagner last night. The Knicks beat the Hawks to break their 16 or 17 game losing streak, but everyone that's a member of Evan & Co. saw that coming because Jake had it. Free money. Can I throw you a compliment?
Yes.
I'm at the point with Bet of the Day where it's not ironic. I'm impressed with what you've done. And your bet last night, I couldn't have disagreed more with your logic. And then it just came whoppingly true. I'm at the point now where I'm genuinely impressed with this run you're on.
I will say there's a lot of flukiness attached, and there's so much luck if you follow sports betting and see some of the ridiculous stuff that can happen at the end of the game. Scott Van Pelt's bad beat section. I will say this. I just had the storyline pegged for this one. I was tweeting it out before the game. Magic Sam and Justin Diamond got in the. I was gonna say got in the crosshairs, like I'm cool. But no, this just made so much sense. The Hawks beat the Lakers, and it was a storyline. I said they were going to be running hot. The Hawks were going to be running hot, which you know what that phrase means. There's a difference between running hot and being hot.
Yeah.
And the Hawks were running hot. That was something I had to clear up on
Our
Twitter.
friend Ken runs hot, never is hot.
Never been hot. Runs hot a lot.
It's a perfect example that none of our listeners understand. But Rob,
no, works for us though. But yeah, so I figured the Hawks would be running hot. Trae Young, who's their supposed to be their young kind of future player, he's doing stuff at All-Star Weekend. He's doing the skills, maybe the 3-point shootout too. But and the Knicks, I told you this, like I can. And this sounds really dumb because the Knicks have been losing so much, but you can tell when they start getting actually hungry for a win, like things are getting ridiculous. And so they called up this Kadeem Allen guy who's been balling out. He was a 2nd-round pick for them. And he's this mean, like, bully point guard. Like, you might like watching him play. Like, he's 6'3", he's thick, 3 Cs, I'd say, not 4. But he's like meaty, and Trae Young, the whole thing is Trae Young's 6 foot, 6'1", and a buck 60 or whatever he weighs now. Like Trae Young's going to be the worst defensive league for 2-3 years just because he's so like frail. And I was just like, so just put the pieces together. They're giving Kadeem Allen run. My boy John Jenkins, like I mentioned, used to be on the Hawks. He's on that 10-day contract. He got a couple buckets, and the Knicks can turn this, 17-game losing streak. Now you get a win leading into the All-Star break. You're on a winning streak for over a week, basically. So this was a no-brainer that the Knicks were just going to roll it out there, go all out, and get this win. The Hawks weren't going to care as much heading into the All-Star break. Free money.
Free money. Free money. I put a shit. Where is this? I was laying in bed last night, tired, Jake.
Yeah.
And I found that a couple free money audio drops, but I don't know if I put them on the board. Which is this one.
Let's call free money.
You like that one?
Yeah.
What about this one?
I heard you were giving out free money. I heard
like
you
that
were
one a
giving
lot.
out free money.
It's from Parks and Rec.
Yeah. Is that Sewage Joe?
Yeah, Sewage Joe from Parks and Rec.
Don't get me started on Sewage Joe.
Parks and Rec has the best side characters. I love all of them, and Katie didn't like them. It's like, how much do you like Jam? She's like, I hate Jam.
Oh my God, Jam.
Got jammed.
Jam's so good in towards some of those later seasons. Sewage Joe is, I mean, that's a no contest for me. Sewage Joe starts talking in Parks and Rec, and I'm done. Come out to my van.
You were giving out free money.
So you're gonna
There
like
it is.
that.
Oh, and the veterinary crew or the animal.
Yeah. One of them, those guys died. Wayne.
Yeah, the little guy.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about this
DeGrom.
Let's talk about this DeGrom situation. I think this is actual.
You think it's good for baseball that they're losing popularity? Their best players can't get signed, and now some of their best players don't want to play, right?
I don't think they're losing popularity, but there's tons of bad things about the baseball right now. This is. I'd like to be on the side of the players to get them paid and all that.
Right.
I'm not on DeGrom's side here. Like the CBA currently says, this is how it works. You just got the biggest raise within the CBA system that's ever happened. You went from 7 million to 17 million. And now you're going to like hold out or demand a new contract. Why didn't you do that before you signed the arbitration? I don't get it. I don't like, and then to say out loud, I'm going to limit my innings. I think he's trying to pin the fans against ownership because fans love DeGrom because, of course, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Right.
Top 2, top 1, maybe last year. So
top 1 last year.
I think by going to the media, he thinks he's pinning the fans against the owners and all this, but he's going to lose a fraction of fans because if you say, I'm going to limit myself or anything of that, of like, I'm not going to put my best foot forward for this team in 2019. You lose me as a fan a little bit.
I don't think so. I think it's at the point where people are, the Machado, Harper gossip stuff has gotten so big that you're kind of right. Like, okay, dude, you just got paid the most money you could in arbitration. Like, that's how the system works. The problem is what's changed is after that, normally the guy that gets the biggest contract in arbitration, if he goes out and pitches one more good year, you'd expect him to go and get paid a ton of money. But right now, everything Jacob DeGrom's seeing is that won't happen because you get paid for what you're expected to do, not for what you've done. So basically, every more impact inning Jacob DeGrom throws this year, he's almost taking money out of his wallet. Or that's how it looks right now to the players. And I think something that I don't want to say you've overlooked, but I think potentially that could be involved that I think normally you would care about more than me is that, Jim, at this point, the players' union is probably involved and in Jacob DeGrom's ear too.
Yeah, well, the CBA sucks. Here, you got to tell the listeners a quick story because Zim's about to diarrhea everywhere, and I got to get Katie on this.
Nice, I can do that. Should I go diarrhea or sports? I'll keep it sports for a little bit, and then maybe it'll lead into diarrhea, as it normally does. I think DeGrom's doing nothing wrong, in my humble opinion. It's just this is a new caveat that baseball in their CBA didn't think would happen, and now we're here. If you're Jacob DeGrom, I think you're doing the best decision. You're doing the best decision for yourself, and that's kind of all you can do.
Still talking about DeGrom?
Yeah, I kept it there.
I just think the CBA, the union's terrible. they did a terrible job, and we don't really need to go into all of that like that much because I think we've covered it.
Right.
For the casual baseball fans, and I'm talking Yanks, we've covered it deeper, but I just think like you had your chance to negotiate. So here's my thing. If you're the Mets, why would you give him a new contract?
If you're the Mets, I mean, you give him an extension because you want to keep him and you want to keep your players happy. The same reason you'd sign a guy.
Yeah. So what if they offered him like, okay, we'll run the $17 million for another 2 years?
I mean, I think Jacob deGrom wants a lot more money than that. Clayton Kershaw's extension.
No. I totally understand Jacob deGrom's side of things. I'm trying to do the Mets side of things. Why would they offer him more money right now or a bigger contract right now?
Well, it would have to be an extension, right? It wouldn't be this year anyways. This money is already agreed to and moving forward.
Yeah. So, but why would you?
So he's just eyeing the future.
Yeah, I get that on his side. But
Jimmy, if the Mets are 500 and Jacob deGrom has thrown 130 innings and he's got a 2.2 ERA, like he doesn't have a lot of incentive to pitch more. If he pitches more, even if he pitches well, it's more tread on the tire. Look at Dallas Keuchel right now. If he pitches more and he pitches poorly, he's adding tread to the tire and pitching poorly. Like it's a Jacob deGrom decision, which it would suck for the Mets and it would suck for baseball, but his goal is to get paid more money and get a bigger contract.
Yeah.
And the less tread and the better he is, I mean that affects what he's gonna get.
Yeah. But if you're the Mets, you're like, no, we just gave you a huge raise. We'll talk again next offseason. Or whatever. Like I wouldn't budge it off on the Mets. And then if he's gonna not give 100% going into free agency, well, that's a bad sign for him. Like you want your guys like Bumgarner and CeCe and like Scherzer, like that. If he wants to be at that health,
you did want your guys like that. I mean, you still do when you have them under contract, but I mean, look at what's Dallas Keuchel's reward.
Also, if the Mets are terrible this year and they want to move deGrom, the lesser the salary, the more easier it is to move him and probably a bigger return. So just from the Mets side of things, I can't see a single reason. And deGrom's going to purposely take himself out of games. Fuck you, deGrom. But if I'm the Mets talking,
I wouldn't say purposely take himself out of games, but I mean, hey, the last 5 years, Dallas Keuchel has averaged like, I'm just trying to upload it and Baseball Reference let me down a little bit. Yep, it apologized to me though. Thanks, Baseball Reference. I mean, it's just the goal as an individual. The goal is to play baseball and get paid. And right now, him going out there and throwing meaningless innings isn't going to get him paid. Even if they're meaningful innings, they might not get him paid.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why he's asking for more money, but I think realistically, from the Mets side of view, if I was the Mets, there's no way I would even talk about another contract. And I think
I don't get that too much.
Because why would you?
Because then he could play this. He would play out this whole season. If he had an extension, there wouldn't be an innings limit or anything. If they came to a deal that was 4 years, $30 million a year, and he agreed to that extension, then he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm all in. I have no problem pitching for you." And he's putting himself at risk.
I'd call his bluff and be like, "Okay, you're not going to go out and give it your all." I fucking doubt that. He played for a Mets team that couldn't give him a single run last year, and it was like a meaningless season. He went out and gave it all.
He got a Cy Young, and he got himself paid more in arbitration. I mean, that end of the day, that's what these guys' goals are.
So that's why I'm saying that I think he's going to do the same thing this year. Don't give him a contract. He'll go out. He'll prove why he's worth more, and then we'll give him more next year.
But I mean, if he pitches well through July and the Mets are out of it, he'll just tap out and say, "I'm done for the year. Like, if you guys don't want to extend me, you can dock my pay or whatever."
Yeah, then you can trade him, and it's easier to move him because he's worthless.
He won't pitch there. He won't pitch anywhere else either. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, now he's a real fucking diva.
Hey, man. Are Machado and Harper divas right now for not getting paid, even though they should be getting paid a lot of money?
It's a completely different situation.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. And Dallas Keuchel, I think it's the same exact boat.
Why
Jacob DeGrom is going to be that free agent next year.
Why agree to the arbitration if you're going to...
Because he wants to get guaranteed money. He wants to get paid this year.
He is getting paid this year.
Yeah, that's why he signed that.
I know. So just then you got paid for this year. So pitch to what you were paid for this year, and then next year we'll figure out the next year.
Well, it's kind.
You can't demand money for. You can't demand a $10 million raise for this year, and they give you the $10 million raise, break the record for the raise, and then say, actually, I'm going to need you to pay me more for next year too, for me to honor this year's contract.
Well, it's kind of what goes on in other sports too. Anthony Davis demanding the trade. I mean, that's not too far off with a lot of the different dynamics going on, except he knows he's getting a guaranteed contract coming up. And he's trying to cover his butt there. So I don't know. I've got no qualms with DeGrom.
I don't have any qualms with DeGrom either, besides the fact that he thinks it's actually going to happen. I think if the Mets give in, then that's dumb business.
Wow. Okay.
I just think the Mets would be like, no.
Well, then they're going to lose DeGrom.
They might lose him anyway.
Yeah, but they don't have to. That's what Jacob DeGrom's saying. Like, pay me for being good. Baseball's gotten so far away from pay me for being good.
Yeah, but he did just get a $10 million raise for being good.
Yeah, last year. He earned it.
I know, so go earn more.
That's part of the arbitration system, too, is you get paid off of what you did last year. So Jacob DeGrom partially earns that money because it's not a free market because that's how the CBA is set up.
Yeah, the CBA is terrible.
There's a strike coming. Get ready.
Yeah, there probably is.
Get ready. Little better MLB news. Tommy T-Bone Giordano, longtime MLB scout and executive, dies at 93. That's actually not better news. It's sad. There's actually a really good article on him at ESPN.
Like, what?
Jim, come on, man. It's the build-up. The Blue Jays, here's more good baseball news, have no firm timeline for calling up top prospect Vlad Guerrero because they want to save money on him, which goes into just more bad CBA and contract talk. NFL whispers about them inquiring about Adam Silver as commissioner. This started in 2017. They're starting to get more noise around it. I think that would be awesome. Let's get the sports against each other. NBA All-Star Weekend. We got the Rising Stars game tonight, Jim. Skills and three-point and dunk contest tomorrow, all culminating in the All-Star game Sunday night. Giannis versus Team LeBron.
Well, real quick on the Vlad Guerrero one, the CBA needs to fix that this year. Like, they can still change the rules, you know?
Right.
They need to fix that immediately, this whole service time nonsense. They're trying to implement those new rules where if Vlad gets called up and wins finishes top 3 and MVP Rookie of the Year, which it seems like he's probably going to be a shoo-in for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Then it'll count as a full year and not as half a season or whatever. But they need to fix that immediately. I think they can before the season starts.
Maybe. I think it's all going to be brought to the negotiating table. I think everything is ammo, and the way those normally go down is I'll give you this if you give us this. So I don't know. I almost don't see baseball giving in on that just because it's negotiating.
Yeah, they may not,
even though it's hurting their game.
They need to fix that. It's really hurting their game.
I mean, it's just the laundry list is piling up, and I think it. As I threw it in as a casual thing, and we've mentioned it before briefly, but we saw the hockey labor strike in our lifetime, like as adults. We saw hockey labor strike. Have we seen? Yeah,
basketball. Remember the shortened season?
Basketball had a brief one. We saw that.
Seen the refs for NFL.
And let's be honest, we saw the refs. Yeah. Both sports kind of grew from that. Hockey gained some popularity for a while. They did some really good game stuff that I don't know. They just opened it up and made it better. The referees was ridiculous. And hey, the NBA's in a great spot right now. This is the first time that I feel like we're adults. Well, we're pretty involved with the Talking Yank stuff with what's going on in baseball. But like, I mean, this just like reeks of a strike.
Yeah.
Like, I think we'd be surprised at this point if both sides come together and they don't strike at some point, which is a little scary.
I strike needs to happen, but the owners are taking advantage of a dumb CBA that the union offered. You know what I mean? Like the union put out this CBA that they thought was benefiting them. And the owners saw it and were like, oh, okay, there are so many loopholes here that you guys didn't even think of, and signed it like giddily. And now it's just being completely exploited. The nature of the money in the game is being completely changed. So Tony Clark's in charge of the CBA. I don't know how much say he has on like what actually gets pushed and signed, but it's the players are getting taken advantage of, and it's in some ways their own doing that they weren't smart enough to see the loopholes that the owners would take advantage of.
Well, and forever it was the MLB Players Union is the strongest union, and I think with when the big contracts were awesome, the A-Rods, the Pujols, the Jose Reyes, everyone who got paid, Chris Davis, like the ones that backfired so hard that the owners were just like, never again. This is the definition of bad business. So it went from players getting paid a ton of money and it was so gung-ho to now it's the best players in the game can't get paid. That was big baseball talk. Let's we should talk about Tommy T-Bone Giordano. Talk about 93 years old, 71 years in professional baseball, Jim.
I would love to find like an old interview or book or just to pick his mind about everything.
Well, it's dead.
No, an old interview or book.
To pick his mind. See, that's not how my brain works. There's a nice article on him about ESPN. He said I think he shouldn't say revolutionized, but it said one of his big things was like, yeah, he'd obviously scout the players, but he'd kind of scout their family and see like kind of what kind of cloth they were cut from. He was into that. He classic dude. Like if I told you guess Tommy T-Bone Giordano's baseball playing career, you'd have it pegged. Do you want to guess? Are you reading it right now?
I'm not. I'm just looking at pictures of him. I would guess he probably played for like 2 seasons, was like a 240 slap hitter.
Less than that. He played like 14 games at the end of one season. I think he hit 2 home runs.
He hit 2 home runs in 14 games?
It was something like that.
That's pretty good.
I think it was like I think he hit in the 100s. But and there's a whole thing. He played with Hank Aaron for a little bit, and they were in the minor leagues. Hank Aaron led every offensive category except home runs. This guy had it. It was definition of baseball scout. 71 years in baseball, pretty insane. Any going away stuff on T-Bone?
No, I never heard of him. So 11 games, 45 plate appearances, 2 home runs, 2 doubles. Went up there swinging for the fences.
Amen. There's also a good story. He grew up in Jersey, and I think his dad was a butcher, and like he wanted his son to take over the family business, and his son he was sneaking out and playing baseball and hiding it from his dad, and then his dad caught it one time, and he chopped up his spikes and baseball glove with the butcher knife.
What?
Times are different, huh?
Real different. He hit a home run in his first ever game, and before I move on, I just need to find out if it was his first at-bat.
Second at-bat.
Oh, you have that?
Yep.
Damn. Cool if it was first September 11th.
Be a lot cooler if you did. Jim, we did a lot of CBA and commissioner type stuff. Do you care about Adam Silver, the NFL thinking about poaching him?
It'd be a cool storyline, but I mean, I love El Prez and Goodell's rivalry. Or rivalry. Like I actually eat that stuff up as entertainment, so I would lose that.
No, dude, you would get it would be the ultimate Trump. It would be El Prez would say he won.
Oh yeah, no, but then I'd lose the rest of it. I'd rather just watch the battle for 1,000 years than see a victor.
Constantly. Okay, I like that. Yeah, I don't know. I would love it. I think if
when they say this game's too good, it's a shame it has to end.
Sure.
It's that situation.
I would love it. I think it would be great for both sports. I think there'd be some intensity, some rivalry between sports almost. It'd be cool for Adam Silver, dude. How cool is that?
Yeah. What's the story behind? Wasn't there a conspiracy theory behind like the NHL was doing so good, and the NBA was doing terrible, and then they named the new commissioners, and David Stern went to the NBA, and who was the other guy? Greg? Who was the NHL?
Is it Gary Bettman?
They sent him to the NHL, and there was some conspiracy like the NBA knew he would like ruin the NHL. I can't. I know. I
don't know. You'll have to tell us maybe next week.
Yeah.
Look into that for us.
That'd
Jim.
be cool for Adam Silver, one of the creepier looking guys going.
Odd looking guy, and arguably one of the most powerful men in sports. What you checking in on All-Star Weekend, Jim? Dunk contest?
Oh, for the NBA? No. No, I couldn't. Okay. I think I'd rather watch Boy Meets World reruns for the 17th time. Well, I like Boy Meets World, so that's a bad comparison.
Yeah.
I think I'd watch an episode of Deal or No Deal before I watched the NBA All-Star game.
Yeah.
That's a better comparison because Deal or No Deal sucks.
Wow. And yeah, we got the Genesis Open golf tournament. We had some weather yesterday.
I heard about that. Did they played a couple holes and then they said, nah, none of that counts.
Yeah, there's like 20 guys that played, I think, 3 holes or something, and then it just started raining so hard that it becomes like a fairness of competition and who's playing the same course and stuff. So they were just like, nah, this doesn't count.
So what did they start again today? And it's gonna.
So yeah, there's some scores up there. I'll be honest, I traveling yesterday, but right now Speed's on top, -5 through 12.
He fell off. He was supposed to be this big thing, and then he can't putt anymore, is what I've heard.
Yeah, that's what Francesca's saying. It's golf. It comes and goes. Yeah, we'll see. They're letting it rip now. Who'd you pick? Who'd I pick?
I picked Bubba.
Bubba, I gotta find
Bubba. But the rain doesn't suit Bubba, so I'm glad that he didn't have to play in that.
Well, he is even through 13 holes.
Right where he wants to be. Just make the cut, then attack.
Survive in advance. I like that.
Yep.
Trying to see it. I don't think my boy Hadwin's teed off yet.
All right, I'm gonna call it to half.
Call it to half.
Call it to half. Are you watching the NBA All-Star Game? Like you're on a trip in Florida hanging out with Jess, but like is that something you'd be like, oh, I want to catch this? Or is it if you were doing nothing and had the night free, then you'd put it on? Where does it lay in your spectrum?
Hadwin -1 through 11. I enjoy it. Like the rising. So something the NBA is kind of hit with is this Rising Stars game because you rarely get an overlap. Because it's only the first or second year player, so you rarely get a guy that like deserves to be an all-star. I think Staps might have did it. I forget, but these guys kind of play hard because they're young. Think about it. Their first, second year in the NBA nowadays, it's pretty much 19, 20-year-old kids. Almost everyone playing is probably 21 and under. So the kids actually play hard. It's still not a defensive fest, but it's entertaining. They do a USA versus the world style, which I think it's wild to see where the world's basketball landscape is when you think of Ben Simmons, Doncic, Ayton, technically Embiid. It's really impressive. So they do well there. Like I would, if that was on in the background at a bar, I'm watching it. Or if I was home doing nothing, there's a chance.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
The skills 3-point dunk night is fun, but it's Saturday night. I've actually never watched that at a bar. The dunk contest at a bar might be kind of fun. It's got to be the definition of guys just like elbowing random guys and being like, pretty good, huh?
See that one?
That was good, huh?
And you get a bunch of guys in the corner like, that was the same as the fucking last one.
Whatever. Like I did that sophomore year of high school. So I don't know if I had the time, I'm watching that. Again, you don't make a plan around that. I think we're gonna end up doing some family stuff around then. So doubtful. Sunday All-Star game, yeah, it's kind of nothing's must watch, but compared to the NFL,
I would say it goes MLB, NHL, NBA, NFL.
Say that again.
In terms of like the All-Star game being good, MLB, NHL, NBA, NHL.
Yeah,
NFL at the bottom.
Taking everything into home run derby is really good.
And the All-Star game for MLB is the only one where you're going to get an effort because the pitchers go out for one inning and they're not going to not play defense. Like, you know what I mean? Like you have to throw the ball and you have to get the guys out.
Yeah, basketball has been doing a good job lately of keeping it close to the end, so they try a little bit towards the end. Yeah, I mean it's just tough because it starts becoming a baseball popularity thing. I think you're right. If you do the home run derby with the game, I think they've got the best combo. But I mean, slam dunk, 3-point, rising stars.
Well, I'm talking about just
basketball's
like
there.
The actual game itself is like, because the All-Star game back in the day was, I want to see all the best players compete against themselves, and it's going to be the best game going.
Right.
The MLB is the only one that's still close to that. It still is that. It still is that.
Yeah, a little bit. I think NBA would give you an argument. I mean, they're not defensively, they're not trying their hardest until 4 minutes to play in the fourth, but it's the best of the best out there.
Yeah. Is that the end of the half? Okay. I got a lot of news today. What the fuck was that?
Fade it out.
And though the news was rather sad, I just had to laugh. I know it's 6 o'clock. Time for the news.
A bomb threat was called into a Home Depot, but turned out it was just a man warning others about how badly he needed to use the restroom. Hey, yo, you got a restroom here? I'm about to blow that shit up. Boom. Call the bomb squad. Life in 2019. The Marine Corps tested a skateboard unit in the 1990s, Jake. That's pretty cool. Don't get it. A new Tinder-like app helps farmers match their livestock for love. A man burns down his house following fight over Cheez-Its. A Detroit family wants answers after the mother's casket was found in an alley with a dog skull inside of it and no body. I'd also want answers. I'd want so many answers. And orange alligators are raising orange alligators are raising eyebrows. It's kind of a tongue twister. Orange alligators are raising eyebrows in South Carolina. I bet there's going to be a ton of Trump jokes. And 500,000 cattle survived year-long drought only to die as soon as the rain came. And a new Barbie line includes dolls that use a wheelchair and prosthetic limbs.
I read the news today, oh boy.
What's calling your name, Jake?
Yeah, South Carolina, you're also going to get some Clemson jokes. I'm looking at these Gators right now. There's a far away pic that it looks pretty orange. The color could simply from rust and draining pipes. There's one closer shot that it doesn't look a ton of orange. It looks like a hint of orange. I don't know, but it's kind of fun. I got interested to see what an orange gator looked like.
Yeah. Well, I drew a blue duck because I've never seen a blue duck before.
Never seen a blue duck.
And I always wanted to see a blue duck.
Thank
you very much, Miss Lippy.
I don't really want to touch the mother's casket with the dog skull inside.
Yeah, it's kind of like if I'm the family, I want to know the answer, but you also don't want to know the answer.
If you're anyone outside of the family, you don't want to know the answer.
I'll click the link and peruse it and see if it's worth sharing or if it's going to ruin the whole vibe of the show.
Okay, I'll quickly hit the man burns down house following fight over Cheez-Its just because I don't know. Burning down a house is never the answer. I'm trying. I'm trying to think.
You a Cheez-Its fan?
I'm not a big Cheez-Its guy. I think that would surprise people from my physique. Cheez-Its, you know what it was, man? And I'm a huge believer in this. We weren't a snacks house growing up. We didn't have any of the good snacks. There was no Gushers. There was no cookies. There was no treats. Like the best we were getting were like Triscuits. Like that. I wouldn't say that was a candy in our house, but that was a delightful snack. Cheez-Its made the list for a while, and it was kind of exciting. Like, wow, Cheez-Its were kind of new. We're like, okay, we're gonna have this in our house. Like, this is something we can snack on, and I think that's why Cheez-Its lost appeal for me. I had access to them. They ran their course. I wasn't into it.
I'll eat a ton of Cheez-Its, but I don't really like snacks that make my hands gross afterwards.
Okay.
Doritos, Cheetos, I'm all the way, fully out on. Don't eat Cheetos. The casket story is kind of wild, Jake. It's not that sad.
Okay.
So she died in 2000, 19 years ago, and was buried at a cemetery, and they like saw the burial. And then this mortician died, and his house was getting renovated, and inside, so they renovated the house. So when they were renovating the house, they took everything inside the house and they put it on outside the house, and some of those were a couple caskets. And the casket had the name inscribed on it. And so people saw it and were like, yo, your mom's casket's out on my street right now.
Right.
And they're like, what the fuck? We saw her get buried in there.
Yeah.
So they had to figure out what happened. My brain instantly went to the funeral home, goes back, digs it up, brings the casket back up and repurposes them, which is fucked. That's not what happened.
Okay.
The original casket that was made for their mother was too small. So they had to make a second one, and then she was buried in the second one. So then they had this small casket, I'm guessing as kind of here's some of our work display casket, but they never got her name off of it. Now that could just be the nice story they're saying.
Yeah.
It could have been just digging up caskets and repurposing them.
Seems a little too easy.
But it makes a little sense. I think I'd be like, they still don't know why animal remains were found inside of it and why it's at his personal house and not his funeral home.
Bingo.
So it's not as terrible as it could have been, but I think that's interesting. That's like a good movie, like like you have a True Detective type show, and that's one episode. Like it's one piece of evidence that leads to a grander reveal, but they find the casket and the whole audience watching the show thinks like, oh shit, this is going to be huge. And then the guy's like, nah, actually. And they're like, okay, well, you're still a little fishy. When I write my season of True Detective, that's going to be a scene in there.
Okay. Yeah, this story's I think it's a little light. I think this is more CSI vibes. I think you're getting a 30 minutes. Maybe you're getting an hour long SVU or whatever it is. But I don't think you're getting a full season a TD. Maybe a scene. I guess that's what you're going for.
No, it's a scene. It's one chip. Like
yeah, I don't like tying that. I feel like we already have so many unanswered questions about it. I feel like
I got to write all the next scenes where it all gets tied in.
Right. I think people would look back and be like, what was that scene with there's a dog skull and the mom's casket was on the road?
So the audience is going to think, oh shit, maybe she didn't die and the funeral was fake. That's the misdirection I'm going to lead the audience with this reveal.
I'm excited for you to write your season of True Detective. Mm-hmm. I think after it, people will be like, whoa, that was a great season of True Detective. And then there'd be like a BuzzFeed article that would be like 5 oddest scenes from this year's True Detective, and like that would be number 1, and they'd be like, okay, like I see it was part of the story, but why?
I love this. This is great.
Okay, good.
But fuck BuzzFeed.
Okay.
What else we got? This new Tinder-like app helps farmers match their livestock for love. It's got to be just a dumb fucking headline. It's got to be like, hey, I got a pig that needs to mate, and then this other farmer's like, I also have a pig that needs to mate. Yours a chick? No, mine's a dude. All right, good. Let's have them fuck. I mean, that seems very normal in the farming world.
This is going to be super aggressive.
Fuck pigs. You fucked a pig.
Fuck the pig. No. I'm saying this with all sincerity, Jim. Okay? It's like a dating app of sorts. I don't know, maybe it's called Buck Fuddy or something. But like, why don't we have we have so many people hooking up around the world. Like, let's be honest about it. And it's if that's what you're into, that's fine. Like, no one should have a qualm with that. Like, why don't we have like an Uber rating system? And like, if you just kind of want to hook up with someone and have some decent sex.
They tried that, and it's just like so morally like wrong.
Is it?
Yeah, because you don't know the real. Yeah, you can't be. Yeah, you can't. You don't want that. You don't want to hook up with a girl, and then you go look at your own rating, and it's a 1, and then he smelled and he farted once, and he tried.
Then you get off the app. Then you're like, okay, it's not for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's screenshots, your face, the review, it posts around. Jake's for real. He farts during sex and acts like he didn't fart during sex, and it sucks.
That's basically my Twitter bio.
You know what my Twitter bio is?
What's that?
Regurgitated goose poop.
It's not, but it should be.
That's going to be the bio of this show. What's that show? Jomboy Radio? What do they talk about? Regurgitated goose poop.
Yeah, let's not fully latch onto that.
Well, I'll forget about it after the show, but I like it.
Okay, I hope so. Sometimes you don't.
Yeah, you never know what sticks in my brain.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to stick now.
Well, speaking of things, tell me what to put on shirts. I got all these fun fonts, you know? So I can just we make just like simple shirts that are running inside jokes. So I'd want them myself. Maybe some people that listen to Jomboy Radio would want one. If you send one my way, I'll make it.
Send me on my way.
Did you look at the Jake Suck shirt? Go to talkingyanks.com. Look at it. It looks cool. I know that you're gonna be.
It's clean.
Oh, you did see it? Nice.
Clean, yeah, man. I'm around.
You're around. Would you have liked to? Oh, we didn't even talk about this Home Depot bomb threat. I don't know if I believe this story. I think it sounds like an Onion article.
Okay.
Guy walk around like I gotta drop a bomb in the bathroom, you know?
Yeah.
And then they call it a bomb threat. It seems very fake, but everyone's saying it there.
You never know.
Oh, he was warning people to. Oh, y'all need to get out of here because I'm fixing to blow it up, he said as he walked into the bathroom. That is funny.
Oh, hell yes.
This guy's gonna blow it up. Bomb squad walks in and it's just a guy taking a shit. I told you you're not gonna want to be in here.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Who does number 2 work for?
That's a good scene.
We ready for it? Bet of the day?
Been ready. I didn't even think we were going to do that Home Depot poop stuff.
Biggest story of the day. It's all over everywhere.
Regurgitated goose poop.
Come on, we're trying to forget that. Bet of the day! It's the bet of the day! Jakey hasn't made a big mistake in 2 days, and his Thursday record is rather impressive. 4-1 on Thursdays, 17-10 in his career, 12 for his last something or something like that. Kid's hot. I'm 2 in a row just because I've been agreeing with you because you're hot.
I'm hot.
Speaking of, I know Jordan Gagg's watching live right now. The Thursday calculator's off. You're 5-1 in Thursdays, but it says you're 4-1.
Okay.
You get better as the week goes. It's every single week. 1 and 4 Mondays.
Yeah, I gotta find my dynamic.
You're such a bad Monday better.
Oh yeah.
It's pathetic.
That's because we have to talk about it on Tuesday, Jim.
Yes.
How
come you're not a bad Tuesday better then?
Because we talk about it on Wednesday.
Well, you make the pick on Tuesday. So it doesn't matter when you make it. It's when we talk
it's
about
when it's going to be discussed. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That makes that makes so much sense. I can so much sense I lost my use of my mouth. What do you got?
I saw that. Jim, I think I've got wildly free money. And Jim, not a big slate tonight. No NBA. College basketball is gearing up for the weekend. So we got to dig deep a little bit. I almost went hockey, but when you're this hot, I can't risk that.
Pussy.
Jim, I've got the free. This is gonna shock you.
Yeah.
We're going to one of your sibling schools.
Marist or Pacific?
We've got Marist going into Quinnipiac tonight.
Wow. Women's or men's?
Men's.
Yeah, that's a good women's matchup.
Oh, always is.
Marist at Quinnipiac. Great. So what's the spread?
Quinnipiac is favored by 4. The game is at the Q.
Yep.
People's United Center. Shout out. Jimmy, this is such free money for Quinnipiac. I can't believe you can legally bet this.
So you're going against my sister's Marist. Red Foxes.
And Jimmy, you can hype it up all you want, but I mean, I've got all the Jakey checkbox going, and I've got your boxes checked. They played earlier this year at Marist, and Quinnipiac blew them out, 92-78. That was at Marist.
Oh, that's a good game for Marist.
Marist is 10-14. Quinnipiac is 13-10. So we've essentially got a losing team versus a winning team at the winning team's home. The winning team has already beat them by a lot. They're only favored by 4 points. I don't know. I mean, the line almost smells so funny. I wish I could flop on it and go Marist. But I think Q's going to run them out of the building.
What about if I tell you this?
Okay.
The first time Marist and Iona matched up, which is my dad's college.
Right.
Iona beat them 90-77.
Right.
The next time they matched up, Iona lost 78-74. So maybe Marist has a little bit of a, oh, you got us once, but you ain't getting us again situation.
I think Marist is a big chip on their shoulder kind of team.
I mean, you got to. I mean, if that's your game, seems like they might be chip on their shoulder.
I mean, the only thing that's getting me there is Iona's terrible this year too. Iona's 9-15.
Why don't you shut your butt when you're talking about Iona?
So these are bad teams we're talking about.
Yeah, I didn't choose the game.
Okay, well.
So you're going Quinnipiac, right?
Quinnipiac. I bet lives on it.
So it's a Fox versus a Bobcat, huh?
Oh yeah.
Who are you rooting for? Bobcat's going to destroy them.
Yeah. I'd root for the Fox in the real life fight.
Yeah, I'm Team Fox.
Yeah.
Big sign. Go Fox, go. Maybe
take the money and run, Jim, as they say. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Quinnipiac just beat Iona by guess how many?
1 point.
Yeah. So, and Iona's terrible.
We're dragging.
I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. I got to agree with you because you're hot. But, man,
I'm hot and it's free money is why you have to agree with
Ritzy's going to call me up and she's going to be like, I heard you bet against my Red Foxes.
Hey, I hope.
Jake is stupid, but he's smart.
You know how much school pride she has? She's been waiting for this Quinnipiac game.
Yeah, she has.
She cheerleaded there for like 3 days.
3 days or so.
And then she was like, I'm not going to do this.
We used to party there. Hey, if Marist blows my heater, we'll tell some good stories about partying at Marist.
If Marist blows your heater, you got to eat goose poop.
Nope. Send it to the music though.
I got it. I got there. Everyone have a good weekend. Thank you. We'll see you. Send in some t-shirt ideas if you got any. That'll keep me busy. It's my incredibly busy weekend already. See ya.